8:09. Good morning to you. Every Tuesday morning we talk with Erik Peterson from Proven Realty. Almost forgot where you were, Erik. Sorry about that. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. No worries. I know you got a lot on your mind and there's been a lot of news lately, so thanks for having me again.
Well, it's good to talk with you on Tuesdays about real estate. Today we want to talk a little bit about some of the common pitfalls in buying a new home. What should we watch out for?
Yeah, that sounds great. There's been a lot of deals getting blown up lately that have been under contract that we've noticed, and so we just wanted to educate folks a little bit about how to avoid these pitfalls and specifically how to prepare and be proactive for them. The last thing you want to do is be reactive and have to put out fires towards these close. Our own little company has over 30 pendings right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so 7 of those have been extended for various reasons. So I would say number one, the biggest pitfall is that people don't realize how long it takes to start and complete the home buying process. It takes a long time for financing and underwriting and appraisals and inspections and all these things that take a long time. So we would recommend don't start just because you had a whole bunch of people in your house for Thanksgiving and you don't want to do that for Christmas. Really hard to then start now and be closed by Christmas. Not impossible, but certainly challenging. So start the process as early as you can. Make sure that you go to a bank and get pre-approved. That's a big one, Tom, as we've talked about previously. You want to have all of your financing in order. You want to shop and get as many rates as you can to help lower that price. And then most specifically, you want to have a local lender, somebody that you can know that has the experience that you can trust, that will go to bat for you, and then more importantly, get these North Dakota deals done. And then also, it's really important to make sure that you're not overextending yourself. Just because you're making a lot of money now doesn't mean that you can afford at the top end of your qualification. So if you can qualify for a $2,000 house payment, that certainly doesn't mean that you need to extend that to the high end. We also want to talk about home inspections. We've mentioned that before several times in the last few weeks. These are great ways. Hire a home inspector. It's the best money that you can spend. Find somebody that has experience, that's done hundreds or thousands of home inspections, and then make sure to identify all these problems ahead of time and make sure that you have a solution lined up. Work with your realtor to negotiate, get these items fixed so that you're not carrying a lot of these problems into close. And then more than anything, I would say make sure that the property is zoned correctly, make sure that it's livable, and don't spend all your money, Tom. And what that means is always have a cash reserve. Let's say you buy a house, you're all excited, you're in there, and your hot water heater goes out. Well, that's a couple $1,000s, or maybe it's a roof issue. We've seen a lot of those with the hail damage and the rain. And really just prepare yourself for the what ifs and the emergency situations with your house. Maybe you're going to get laid off. Maybe you're going to have a change of income. Just make sure that you have cash reserves to protect yourself.
Circling back to local lenders, that really is important here because we have some peculiarities to our market that are not seen in very many other markets in the country.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Not only those types of things, but how you look at your income, how they go about underwriting you, working with the financiers to have some local connections in case there are issues with the title. Getting those done as well really helps. We have 2 situations right now where our buyers have retained out-of-state financing, and they've just been a nightmare to deal with. We have one lender out of California just stopped taking our calls about 2 weeks ago. These guys are buying a house, one of our clients, and the other group that is selling the house was going to move to Dickinson and buy a house down there, and now that's been put on hold. So really, when you're dealing with high stakes situations with families involved and jobs and houses and transfers, it's really critical to have a lender that you can know and trust and specifically can get these deals across the finish line.
Erik Peterson is in studio with Proven Realty. He's with us every Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock talking about local real estate market. And I did a little homework as well, looking at pitfalls here. So I'm going to throw a few at you, talking about the shopping experience. Driveways are important here in North Dakota, specifically Williston, because of the snow and so on. What should we be looking at and concerned about as it relates to driveways?
Yeah, that's a great question. Driveways, are they big enough to get your vehicles in? Are they steep? Our driveway is fairly steep, and I came out of the garage today and went sideways because it was so darn icy. Make sure that with all the water that we've had, especially the wettest spring on recent memory, that you don't have any cracks in the driveway, that there's no water seeping in, and really just make sure that it's comfortable for your family to be able to park everything you need there. And really the same thing about garages. When you're shopping for a home, there's a lot of big oil field trucks here. Make sure that your garage door is tall enough and that your bays are deep enough to fit your vehicles in, especially when it's 20 or 30 below.
Windows. What about which direction the windows are facing?
Yeah, that's a big thing, not only for morning sun, but also the wind, right? So make sure that they're high quality windows, make sure that they're facing the right direction. And especially in the dead of winter when we only have a few hours of sun every day, you want to make sure that those windows are getting you natural light in so that you're not getting depressed like it's easy to do here, and that you can heat up your house a lot easier.
We have a lot of water in the springtime here in North Dakota, specifically in Williston. So what about flooding issues? Should we be asking that question?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a basement, make sure to check in the basement if you're looking at houses or a crawl space. Is there a sump pump in there? We had a lot of water come in this year through the floor in places that had never had water. Either came up through the drains or seeped through the side of the walls, or in some cases just came in and over the windows. Make sure that you have a sump pump. Make sure that your house is above grade. That's also helpful. And make sure that your ground around the house flows away from your house in case it does rain.
I'm talking with Erik Peterson from Proven Realty EXP, and he's with us every Tuesday morning. In downtown area here in Williston, there's lots of big trees, old trees. How should we be looking at those other than just, wow, they're beautiful?
Yeah, they are beautiful, but they can be a nuisance, especially those ones with the big roots. I grew up in the Missoula, Montana area over by the university, and we had 100-year-old trees there. We had a lot of problems with our septic systems backing up, our pipes breaking, concrete of the driveway and the sidewalks. We have that same issue here in Williston, so make sure that those trees are going to be trimmed back, and if they are causing damage right away, make sure to get that they can root them out of your sewer pipes. Just make sure that it's not an issue and be proactive as always.
We're talking about some of the pitfalls that you may run into specifically here in western North Dakota with Erik Peterson of Proven Realty. And we have ice and thaw. We have it right now going on this time of year, and that affects the concrete. So what should we be looking at as far as the concrete is concerned at the house?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the concrete was poured, let's say maybe 8-10 years ago. People are just throwing up housing as fast as they can. A lot of times these crews weren't experiencing the snow and the frigid temperatures, or they were pouring either when it was too hot or too cold. We've seen a lot of cracked foundation, a lot of cracked driveways and garages. Just make sure to protect your house from those situations. And again, if you have an issue, hire a pro, get it fixed the right way.
Lots going on this week as we head into the brunt of the holiday season. Festival of Trees coming up.
It is, yeah. It's our favorite event of the year. Tickets are really hard to come by. It goes for a good cause, obviously. Last year, they netted out over $200,000 for charity. We've been trying to become a tree sponsor. There's only a select amount of trees for a number of years. This year, we were awarded a tree. Really excited about that and humbled. And we put together a weekend warrior package that we're really excited about.
Talk about that package.
Yeah, it's actually going to include a once-in-a-lifetime bison hunt. Buffalo is what they call them. It's actually on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation, about 90 miles west of here. They introduced these bison from Yellowstone National Park in the 90s, and they've now built up this population, and it really was to sustain the tribes that are there. About 20 years ago, they started selling these hunts to non-natives. We're including one of those that allows the winner of our tree, the highest bidder that is, to hunt one of these buffalo. I've been on a number of these hunts. In fact, I actually drew a tag last year. They have a lottery system, and the odds of drawing are about 4%, and that's going to allow you to take a 3-year-old bull. You can also upgrade if you want. I upgraded last year, and when we were driving around, one of my buddies had just shot his with the bow, and we ended up seeing a bull that hadn't been seen on the property there's 30,000 acres, hadn't been seen in about 5 years. He was estimated to be 14 years old. He had this big giant mane on him, this big red mane, and immediately we looked at him and said he was the one that I wanted to harvest. Really a great trophy, and of course, because he was the biggest there and had a big red mane, we nicknamed him Trump. So I was able to harvest him. It's the best meat you'll ever have in your life. It's a lot leaner with a lot more protein than other game meat. I've hunted every kind of animal imaginable. It's really fun. So part of our package this year, you get to have that to go over there and hunt. You have the option of upgrading, of course. Also, Wes Hool, he's an agent on our team. He's a former Navy SEAL sniper. He's offered a 3-hour training session at the range. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're an advanced shooter, he knows more about guns than anybody I've ever met. He actually took my girlfriend, who was scared of guns, not familiar with them at all, and he got her trained up and got her the confidence, and she was able to harvest a buffalo over there this year. That was really cool. My son, he's been doing taxidermy now for about the last 12 years. He's going to do a European mount to clean your skull. And then we have binoculars, a whole bunch of camping gear, hunting gear. It's altogether about an $8,000 package. We're really excited to be able to donate that to the community this year, and really looking forward to see how high it goes for. And we have a really good goal in mind, and hopefully it can raise some good money for charity.
Sounds good. The Festival of Trees, and it is interesting to note that the Festival of Trees has two different parts to it, if not more. One is what you actually get in the package, and the other is the decorating of the actual Festival of Trees area that is designated for your group. Who is in charge of decorating at Proven Realty?
Yeah, that's my girlfriend Courtney, and it's going to be by committee, where there's going to be a whole bunch of people there helping us. We've got a blow-up Santa that's in camouflage. That's pretty cool. We'll have games as well. The other really neat thing is Friday nights they do a kids night, so all the kids can come in and see all the trees and the decorations. There's games and prizes and giveaways there. That will be really fun. And then of course the event is this Saturday night, and can't wait. It'll be a lot of fun.
Look forward to seeing you there. Enjoyed talking to you today about the pitfalls to avoid when you're buying a house. Any last words on that?
No, that's it. Just make sure that you get some experienced people around you. And I always say, obviously we're biased, but hire a realtor, somebody that has the experience, that can give you the service to give you those results and get you the best deal.
Erik Peterson from Proven Realty EXP with us every Tuesday morning in the 8 o'clock hour. 8:21, Kyle Country News. Good morning.